couple of weeks ago, I did a video on the door one, door two. One was gross receipts. There's only two ways to qualify. One was gross receipts. I don't think there's much fraud there. I don't think the IRS thinks there's much fraud there. But door number two, and what that meant was you could open a door to the United States Treasury, the bank, during, and I'll say, during a full or partial shutdown of operations due to a direct impact of COVID-19 orders, okay? But it's a partial, full shutdown of operations. So what happens is in the prior videos, I said behind this door, I believe there's a lot of scams and fraud in the fact of, in my secret shopping video, I had these things like interruption of operation, supply chain interruption, limited capacity, etc. You know, here's another one, unable to work certain vendors, ability to operate operations limited. At that point in time, I said you first have to have the mandate and you use these to see if you qualify under a full or partial shutdown. Well, in doing so, I've started noticing something new. And this is an example. This is a client that attend my fall programs, and he sent this to me and he said, hey, Larry, I think here's somebody that, you know, I can rely on. I'm not giving tax advice, but I took this and I started looking around. So here's the process. I believe some of these companies are listening to these videos. Here's what happens. He sent me a link. It showed the United States of America, and it said something about click here for the shutdowns. So I went, and if we look here on this picture, I went on the map and I clicked on the state of Missouri. Had the United States map, and there's more than one of these out there. So I clicked on it, and like, wow, Missouri shutdown orders. I found a gold mine. And down below here, it says the following results may not reflect all of the shutdown orders. So at this point in time on this page, I see two very important things. Shutdown in Missouri, that's where I live. Secondly, may not reflect all. That tells me, as a layperson, as a small business, they probably got a pretty good list of shutdowns. So let's just open the door. Let's see if we can open that door too with the following orders. So I look here on this sheet, and this is Missouri. I look down through here on the dates. And when I look at this, my first takeaway as a small business is, wow, look at all these dates. They go all the way through to March 31st. So my first image, I've been told twice, it's shutdowns, may not be all of them, but I'm like, wow, maybe I qualify then. And then they would go over to the other list to qualify me. And these different companies do that. Here's my point. I then, if you're a small business, you need to do this. But if you're the tax advisor, even doing the income tax return that somebody else has done the amended 1941s for, I'm going to recommend you do the following. It's what I did, due diligence. So I said, you know what, here's the orders, and I can click. But I went to the state of Missouri's website, and I looked up the different orders. So I just started looking down through here. What am I looking for? I didn't do the ERC. I don't do ERCs. Or I'm a small business relying on a third party. What am I looking for? A partial or full shutdown of my operations. You know, I go here to the IRS website. I love to do this stuff. Here it is on IRS website. Businesses and tax-exempt organizations that qualify are those that were shut down by a government order due to COVID-19 pandemic during 2020 or the first three calendar quarters of 2021. That is pretty plain English. Were shut down. The businesses, the exempts were shut down, okay? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go over here and go to the state of Missouri where I live, and I'm going to go and find all these orders of shutdown. Well, let's look at them. I'm going to go over here, I'll use a pointer. I'm going to go over here to 2020-2, go down to the governor declares a state of emergency and activates the state emergency operation plan on March 13th. Now, if I go over to the governor's website, I believe I could find a shutdown there, but I'm not there yet. All right, the next one, they do say individual, but 4, suspend certain agency regulations to allow them to address current state of emergency. Doesn't say anything about business. It's going down. 5, suspends the prohibition of sales of unprepared foods by restaurants to the public during the state of emergency. That expended their sales. Here's the thing. I keep going down through here. A stay-at-home order. A stay-at-home order is not a shutdown order. And notice there is no reference here. And if you look at Notice 2021-20, you will find in that 100 and some page document that a stay-at-home order is not the shutdown of the business. So I going down, let's look at number 9, do a couple more of these. The governor extends the state of emergency declared in 2, we've already been there, and directs the state of emergency operation plan to remain active. That's still in April, the month after this all happened. Order number 11, activated the state militant. Here's my point. I went through these on the state website, not on an advertisement. And you know what I found? I really didn't find a required government mandate that would have shut down my business. This, I don't know, is the right place to go to look for the mandate. So as my due diligence, if I was doing a return based on this, or as a small business getting ready to sign a 941X, and I went to this map, just to look at these dates here, I'm going to have to go a little further. And again, my problem, I felt like with it saying shutdown twice on here, and I'm seeing these dates here, and I see different titles here, that I might have a qualified mandate. This made me think of how to do my due diligence. So I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm not picking on this company, but it was a fact that a person getting ready to do the income tax returns for the 941Xs, the payroll tax, said, can I rely on this? And my reply to him was, if you are going to go down the path of doing the amended income tax returns, for me, I'm not an authority, for me, you have to go to the state websites and look for a mandated shutdown, and that's the only time door number 2 is open. So whether it's this list or these things we looked at in a prior video about qualifying, is the fact that, and there's all kinds of these lists, the door has to be open. That doesn't mean you qualify. The door 2, it's under a mandate. Once that door is open, wages qualify from the day it starts to stop only if you take these checklists and say, here's how it impacted me. And that's what this last part that I'll read here, it says, that says, see the impact of COVID-19 orders, limited commerce, travel, and all that. That's while the business is under shutdown of operations. So again, I think many of you follow me. I'm preaching to the choir. I believe it's September 1st, and I think the IRS is getting ready to visit. And so I'll say, like I've done on several, if you've already got the credit up to $26,000, or you're applying for the credit, or you're waiting for the refund, please, small business and tax professionals, please be aware. I think the big due diligence is to go to the state and go to the city or county or wherever are located and see what the required mandated shutdowns were. That opens the door. Then you're going to justify the impact. That's the second. See, this is pretty straightforward. That's the second part of this. Shutdown, impact. And that's what we all have to do. I thank you for listening. I hope this helps somebody out there. I'll see you on the next video, and I hate to say, but it's about time for the IRS to show up. See you on the next video.